Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are currently holding on this front, but kind of by the skin of our teeth. This front we're much more dug in on, but we definitely do need to have, we need to have our theater selected, that usually helps. We do need to have quite a lot of additional infantry over on this front. The tanks are pretty decent over here. We're lacking on infantry, by and large. And infantry are much better for defense than tanks. So we need to get infantry out over here. That is definitely a thing that needs to happen. And we do have forces on their way up over this way. Now we're recruiting quite a lot here, and most of those are going to go into this force here. But the forces that are going to be excess, I want to create a North African defense force up here that'll at least try to prevent them from just getting free landings from like here to here. Because we have no other real way of preventing that as of right now. But I think that the most important thing right now is building something along the lines of 3 levels of land fort, which 3 builds very quickly. But I want to build like 3 levels of land fort along this frontier. I just want a fallback line. Even if we push ahead here, I want to have a fallback line very quickly here. So 3 levels of land fort will build quite quickly. We're still working on this up here, apparently. That's interesting. Where is that? I must have queued that up in the wrong place. Hang on. Just scrolling on through, looking for that exact position. Any moment now. This one. Okay. Got it. Right, we delayed these. That's right. Well, we have pretty decent land forts over this way. For the moment, that's fine. So I want this to be something along the lines of this. We'll get those built, like I said, quite quickly. But we want to get this pushed in for sure. I'm very concerned about this up here. This is just Indonesian troops here. Let's get at least some troops spread out over this way. We need to get these guys up over here where they'll be hopefully distributed. But they'll arrive here allegedly in 40 days. We have a lot of repairs to do on our logistics network, that's for sure. But I want a level 1 land fort all across here. I do not want to lose Trabzon. That will hurt our logistics pretty dramatically if we do. So I don't want to leave that fully undefended. Okay. Just watching along this route for now. We need to get more troops up here. That's very clear. Very, very clear. So I'm going to move this single infantry unit up over this way as well. We're pretty thin to the north. Okay, so there's another day tick going by. And we've finished up a couple of these at this point. So we can drop this one down, this one down. All I want is level 3 land forts here. Oh, they've launched an attack out over this way. Good thing we started building some of those, but most of these don't have anything built yet. So that's reasonably fine. This is a concern, of course. And I'm going to move this infantry unit over. I don't want to get pushed out of this area. So we're going to head on up there. We just finished up some land forts over here. I saw them pop in. So we will move these on down. Cool. And that's all underway there. So our infantry are trying to defend out over here. And we're hoping that they hold. We're moving in a 3rd unit, but we're very thin on this northern flank. Okay, so they just stopped there. We're pulling 1 unit back over. I don't want it to go there. I actually want it to go here for now. Okay, so we can drop these in priority down. I just want to have a level 1 land fort in all of these locations to give us defensive bonuses. I don't anticipate that we push out over here for a while, just because of the air power that's up here. Actually, they've pulled out a number of their close support planes, but they would be back if we tried to contest this. I'm 100% sure of that. So we're not going to try to contest it at this time. Going to drop that down in priority. And we just need this one remaining location, which is here. Cool. Now these forces are on their way, but they'll take a while to get here. Okay, so that finished up. We've got level 1 land forts across this entire front now. So I think I'm not going to bother to optimize having them equal across the whole way. It should be okay. But we absolutely want to hold on to this area. I see an attack over here and here. Doesn't look very threatening at this moment. Getting this supply hub built here is pretty decent. I'm going to actually slow down slightly our construction of land forts over here now and reprioritize this supply hub. But I did want to get that done. I think that we could drop these guys down in terms of priority. Down to about here. I think it's fine. And we'll just continue digging in there. Looks good. Now keep in mind, while we're doing this, these repairs are happening. So these are finishing up. They're a ways away in many cases, but we can get that started very soon. I don't want any more than a level 3 land fort here, though, because it takes longer to build higher level land forts. So that'll be fine for now. I do think that we should get some anti-air in this air zone. And is that queued up right now? It is broadly not. Okay. I'm not going to queue up that at this exact moment. I guess I will optimize these. I said I wasn't going to, but here we are. So I'm going to drop these on down like so. There we go. And now there's no need of further optimization there. Cool. Okay, I just want to check in, make sure that we're not leaving any of this undefended. This is currently undefended. So I'm going to bring this guy over. Cool. So we're holding here just fine. How long until we get these divisions? They're going to be done on 16 January, so under 2 months. Oh, wait. Here's some. Perfect. We'll ship them on over, but it'll take them a while to get there. For the time being, we're holding okay out over here, but we could definitely use reinforcement. There's no doubt about that one. So these guys are heading on up. They are starting to get close. There's this unit here that I'm actually going to send up to here. Cool. So that's all looking good. I don't think we have any major issues here right now. How are we doing on these constructions? The fort constructions are progressing. This railroad will be done on 14 December, so a little bit over 2 weeks there. Not too bad. And our land forts will be starting to wrap up soon, but you can definitely see that they're starting to slow down in terms of how long it takes to build them. So yeah, you can see here, the construction cost is 500 plus 500 per existing land fort. That's why I'm not building beyond 3. Because it just gets more and more. Okay. So we'll get that done, and then we'll work on getting all of this railroad repair done, just to make sure that that's good. I would like to get these land forts finished up eventually. The question is, when do we think that's worthwhile? That's a good question. No doubt about that. We desperately need to be working through our land construction queue. That said, we've only got a few more episodes of this since I'm planning on stopping this series for a Victoria series. So that's something to think about as well. I mean, we liberated a lot of territory. There's no doubt about that. Are the Germans taking back China right now? Are they going to succeed in that? They've definitely pushed out over here, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. We're going to pull these guys over here. Okay. Something more like that. Actually, I want all 3 of these to be assigned to all 3 of these locations. There we go. We'll just do that for now. They're really pushing in over here, though. I'm wondering what the U.S. is like in terms of their manpower at this point. 15 to 25 million. They've got plenty. Absolutely plenty. And the Germans have 50 to 65k. So they've dropped down again. They were building it up, but they must have done a big recruitment push or something along those lines. So our constructions here are finishing up. We're going to have this railroad done very shortly. And these land forts are going to be done very shortly as well. So that's great. Yeah, this one will be done this day tick. So literally right now. Cool. And we're going to be pushed through this all very, very soon. Yeah, ongoing battle down over here. So I want to see, are these guys actually being assigned anywhere? Not 100% on that one. But all of these land forts should be finished up very, very soon. And these repairs should go quite quickly as well, as we finish up these land forts. So I'm reasonably content with that. And I would definitely like to get some sort of a North African defense force up, since we know that it's problematic if they land another invasion force up there. So that would be useful. And is part of the reason why we're recruiting so much right now. Okay, so we're seeing a bunch of failed attacks out over this way. These guys are just kind of chilling. I'm going to send these 3 tank units here. I'm going to send these 3 infantry units here. And then these remainders, I'd like to send half of them there and half of them here. Okay, so we'll just do something kind of like that and shore up our defenses in the north. We're definitely having some logistical issues out here. I think that's very clear. And we're going to need to bump up our logistics out here, but that's primarily going to be working on our railroads here. So that'll be fine. All of these will finish up like 1 per day. This is no real issue here. We're going to cruise through that very, very quickly. And that's the idea. We want to get through all of this in under a month, for sure. And then we're going to start working on these land forts again, and that's going to be a little bit expensive. I'm just checking through the rest of this. A lot of this is very low priority. Like very, very low priority. But I want to get our logistics hub built out over here, which will be done when? 17 April. Okay. And let's go ahead and motorize that if we can. Can we motorize that before it's built? Apparently not. Good to know. Okay, well there's January 1st. So we got a manpower bump there. Always good. Otherwise, this is looking pretty decent. German Netherlands capitulated. Hang on. German Netherlands. Hello, there's an incursion up here. I like that. I like that a lot. That's going to pull pressure off of us. Hopefully we'll see these lines diminish a bit. We'll see if that ends up happening or not. Now, where are our forces over here? Have they made it over yet? These 9? No, they have not. They'll be here soon. But honestly, I feel like these repairs, they're going to happen naturally. I feel like this is a waste of our civilian industries for right now. I'm going to move those down, and we're going to resume construction along this front. Now, how long will that take to finish? A while is the answer. This railroad is pretty low priority at this point. I feel like getting anti-air guns up here is actually of vital importance. As well, I would really like to get this infrastructure built. Not necessarily in that order. Something like this for the order. So that'll have the next completion on 3 February. Okay, that'll take a while. But that will help us in this air war here. Pretty dramatically. We've got 6 anti-air guns right now. And we can see we're downing a few of their planes with our anti-air guns. We clearly need more. Okay. So we'll get that started. And building the infrastructure up here will help our supplies in this area, which will be very helpful as well. We did just get some recruitments done here. So that's 4 tanks. All 4 of those go in here, and we need an additional 2 tanks, which is these guys. And we're going to set this to infinite and just leave it at that. At this point, we can set this to infinite as well. Looks good. So we're sending those 4 tanks up. They will arrive eventually. This tank unit isn't up here. Let's go ahead and send that up. I wanted to check to see where those infantry were. Have they arrived? Yes. The infantry are arriving on this front now. Looks good. Is this thinner? I think this is thinned in terms of the number of troops. I think they responded to this. I mean, they definitely kicked them out of there. So, I mean, good for them, but... Let's check in on the air situation out here. Yeah, you can see here, those close air supports came back. Unsurprising. Our anti-air guns are downing a few of them, but by no means enough to make a difference. So I definitely want to continue working on our anti-air guns here. And we are making pretty solid progress on that. So most of these zones have at least level 1 anti-air now. Most of them. We can bump Van up to the top area. I'm not interested in building these outside of the Asia Minor air zone right now. Our Ciphered was just decrypted. Do we think that we can get away with an offensive here? I think not without any sort of control of the air. I think that's the answer here. It's not going to happen unless we can utilize these nukes. So that's going to be a bit of an issue. We should definitely, after the autosave, move this guy up. There we go. Cool. How is Germany doing in terms of their number of troops here? 150 to 256? Their number of divisions was halved. I wonder what happened. Their manpower dropped dramatically as well, which tells me that they're probably recruiting, but they haven't recruited. But yet they saw gains out over here. They've been pushed back over here again, I think. No. Okay. Very interesting. So what are we facing here? We are facing... There are some German troops here. There's Polish troops. There's Turkish troops. And that's it. German, Polish, Turkish. And in terms of overall numbers, do we feel like we could push here? I keep coming back to that. It's a possibility. But how good of a possibility is it really? Mostly, well, these guys are in poor supply. These guys down here are in reasonable supply. So their supplies are worse to the north. Hypothetically, if we were to push up to here, And we'll let them prepare for this. Inferior enemy. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. We'll prepare for that. I think we have the troops sufficient to push in here. For sure. So the way that we would do that is these guys would attack here, along with these guys. Supported by this tank. Actually, the tank would actually move in. And then we would use, say, 2 infantry divisions here to support. I don't want to weaken the other 2 to counterattack, but we could try something like this. Now, that's kind of turning against us right now. Okay. Indeed. Well, they just had a division retreat. Our organization levels are definitely dropping. But we can boost up the organization levels here. Their organization is too low to advance. So now we re-attack like so. Spearheaded by this tank unit. And then we assist here. And now we're in. Almost. Now we're in. Okay. So that pushes up over here. The question now becomes, can we take Samson? Because looking at their logistics here, we see that they have a logistics hub in their capital, of course, Ankara. There's one here, there's one here, one here, and one here. That's basically all they've got in this area. It's not that much. Our logistics hubs are in a much better position. So all of these guys can move on up. And we can think about continuing to head up to Samson. We can think about it. I'm not sure that we want to do it. So we took this position. That is, of course, an unland-forted position. I'm not going to construct additional land forts there. I want to check in on the state of the air war here, now that we've gotten up to 14 anti-air guns in the region. Okay, we're still downing some planes by anti-air. It's helping. It's certainly helping. It's getting more dangerous for them to do that over here. My question is, what is preventing us from resupplying over here via this supply hub? We apparently don't have a supply connection to capital because we have a damaged railroad from Kars to Batumi. Kars to Batumi. Why are you not just taking this railroad? I'm guessing it's also damaged. It is. So we have a lot of damaged railroad in this region, and that is because of the lack of air superiority here, of course. So we could attempt to establish some air superiority here as our anti-air guns come online. We have more anti-air guns than they do at this time. Okay. They're just piling in the planes. And we're not doing so well here, in all honesty. They are just really focusing on those planes. We can't really do too much there. So that's a bit of a problem for us. Our logistics are getting hammered. No doubt about that. And we do need to handle that. But our anti-air is getting built. And it is getting tougher for them. Not that this is by any means going to be impossible for them later on. That's definitely not the case. But having these now 16 anti-air guns does mean that it's getting more and more dangerous for them to commit to these operations. Now 17 anti-air guns here. So that's great. This is now going to be done on 15 April, so that's next month. And that looks good. So with that, it is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to think about how we can break the air stranglehold over Turkey. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, JJ Gamer, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, Atala, and I'm just watching the scroll here, so Jens Graham, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.